Welcome to Buzz on Veterans. I'm your host, Chris Budihas, and joining me here in the studio is Wayne Loveless with On Defend LLC. Wayne, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Chris.
Good to see you, man.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, no. So your background, tell us where you're from and what you do in the Marine Corps / Army.
Yeah, sure. So I'm originally from Idaho, grew up here in Florida. My father worked down at Kennedy Space Center.
Yeah.
He moved us all back to Idaho when I was in high school. Wasn't really digging shoveling snow and living out there with the cows and potatoes. So,
yeah. The only thing I know about Idaho is they make pretty good potatoes, and I guess they got a lot of. I guess the Air Force has the F-16 base up there.
Yeah, Mountain Home.
Yeah, Mountain Home.
Yeah.
Wow.
But,
so you said no more of this. I'm
No
gonna
more of this.
I'm gonna do something easy. I'm gonna join the Marines.
well, I graduated a little bit early. I was
Yeah.
working as a nuclear engineering intern with
Oh,
Lockheed
wow.
Martin of all the strange and random things.
Yeah,
at
no
the
kidding.
Idaho National Lab. Quit that and went off to architecture school.
Wow.
Discovered school was very expensive. Spent a season snowboarding, and then really needed to get my life kind of back on track. And I thought, why not join the Marine Corps?
Wow.
So,
What a journey. Yeah.
So did that for 4 years. Transitioned over into the Army.
Yeah.
Which is where I kind of got into the IT side of things, and eventually cybersecurity. And from there, it's just been a long, strange trip. I've lived in 17 states, 13 countries, and
Oh my God.
kind of been all over doing cybersecurity now. For
You don't look that
50 years.
old. My goodness.
Yeah.
So your journey to on with your company, how'd you make that big leap? I mean, I saw on LinkedIn, the series of companies you worked for, and I'm sure that knowledge has pulled forward to what you're doing now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the things we know with On Defend is trying to bring in some of the consulting acumen that I've learned at Booz Allen, Deloitte, EY,
Yeah.
as a partner there, help them grow their business internationally with the federal government. Right now we have a very interesting piece of work that we've got as a subcontractor, as part of a team through a company that does CFIUS work for companies that have foreign ownership.
Okay.
So that company's called Haystack ID, and we're
Okay.
subcontracted to them along with Mandiant. And we're in the process of running white hat hacking and application testing on TikTok. And,
Wow.
So they've moved all of their U.S. user base here in the United States. And
Okay.
validate that none of that information's being exfiltrated back to China and being used for, whatever reason that might be nefarious or whatever.
Yeah.
They also want to look at the application and the security, how well that's done as well. So, we've got a really awesome project, and the folks at On Defend I've been working with for a
Yeah.
few years, and they kind of reached out to me, and I reached out to them at the same time. 'Cause I was looking at moving back from overseas.
Okay.
I was living in Dubai, kind of full time.
Oh yeah. Been there. Nice place.
Yeah, nice place, but
It's work still. Yeah.
after about 10 years, I needed to make a change.
Yeah.
So here I am back in Florida again.
So, man, that sounds. I mean, what a journey. I mean, it's a big name companies there.
Yeah.
So, with On Defend, how much of their work is government? And how much is it more in the corporate area?
Yeah, currently right now they do kind of state and local work.
Okay.
And I'm really focusing on maybe helping them grow some of their federal practice.
Okay.
So obviously, 15 years of federal cybersecurity work.
Yeah.
Mostly with the Booz Allen.
Yeah.
In my time that was there before I went overseas. And, I worked at a place called the Disability Security Office.
Yep.
In Chambersburg.
Okay.
What's now, all part of Cybercom.
Yeah.
And, that was sort of my background into cybersecurity, and it got me involved in a lot of different things,
Yeah.
and a lot of different agencies, and a lot of different security clearances.
Right.
I want to leverage some of those relationships and, see if we can help bring forward some of the services and unique offerings that On Defend has.
So let's talk about that. So what makes On Defend unique? Why go to On Defend rather than maybe a competitor?
Yeah, On Defend has a background in doing penetration testing, primarily white hat kind of testing. They also built a breach and attack simulation tool called Blind Spot.
Okay.
It allows them to sort of map out areas inside of infrastructure where a cybersecurity alert should have happened, and a ticket should have been issued. Right, there's a gap, a blind spot that's there.
That's a great branding, by the way.
It is, yeah. So they've worked with a lot of the hospitals and clients here in the Jacksonville area, also all over the country. They have some big international clients that are there. So they've put some automation around that. It's an interesting application and tool, and I think it's got great application for use across the federal government as well. So that's what I'm trying to help broker them a future in that space.
Oh, that's great. So it's funny. I read the Perfect Weapon a couple years back, and it's interesting to see where cyber is, and even that book's dated. I think it was copyrighted 2018, and see where cyber is going.
Yeah.
So what do you foresee on the company going in the next, like, say, 2 to 5 years?
Yeah, I think obviously we're planning on growing our footprint and our relationship that we have with our current client base.
Yeah.
In healthcare, TikTok, the federal government as well. As we all know, cybersecurity is not going anywhere. It's becoming a bigger and bigger problem.
Right.
And having more speed to kind of identifying problems and being able to close them is really where the future's at, and that's where blind spot's really good. It accelerates organizations so that they understand where their problem spaces are and be very targeted in how they fix them.
That's awesome.
In the past, it's just been sort of a helter-skelter kind of approach, and we call it whack-a-mole. We're just trying to tamp down problems as they're popping up.
Yeah.
So this just lets them get in front of that.
For service members that are watching us and they're going, man, I'd love to be like Wayne. I got an IT background, or I want to get in IT cyber. What's your one bit of advice for them as they take a look at their transition?
Wow, the transition, from being in the military into being in civilian life, it's tough, man.
Yeah.
I did it twice. Right? First time didn't take, so I ended up in the Army. But it's plan ahead.
Plan ahead.
Start networking before you get out.
Yeah.
I still help veterans, today.
It's huge.
To find jobs and background. I even help my own younger brother. He was a Marine Corps veteran as well.
Oh wow.
He was an infantryman.
Okay.
And after 4 years in Iraq, the only job skill he had was throwing a grenade farther than so, it was getting him to an education program, starting in networking. He works for a great company now that does stuff around graphing out different data points and analytics. It really is the network in the end. And
it's huge, right? I mean, it's your net worth is your network.
Is enormous, right? You and I are members of the biggest rod and gun club in the world.
Yeah, I love that. Actually, I'm going to steal it.
and you got to leverage it, right?
Right.
All those people that are on LinkedIn or social media that you've known in the past, eventually they're transitioning as well, and they've got opportunities.
Wow. So how do folks find On Defend?
Well, obviously we have a website.
Yes, you do, and it's a good one too.
So it's, ondefend.com, LinkedIn. We have a big social media presence. We have a wonderful communications and marketing vice president that helps us, keep that presence out in the community. We are at nearly every technology event or conference that's in the state of Florida or in the region, so we're easy to find that way as well.
That's great. Well, Wayne, thanks for your service to the nation.
Yeah.
Thanks for what you're doing in the community and what you're doing with the company. It's pretty amazing. Congratulations on this huge contract you guys have won, and it's an exciting space to be in. Cyber affects everybody, and even it's funny, like the use of your phones. We saw the Colonial oil attack last year, and you just don't think about cyber defense until you have to think about cyber defense because your computers don't work, your phone doesn't work, and stuff. So very relevant. Well, thanks a lot. We'll take all your information for the company and yourself. We're going to put it in our show notes, and we're going to post it here in the next 24 to 48 hours.
Awesome.
And I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, thank you, Chris.
All right, folks, if you like what you heard, please connect with Wayne and us. We're going to take all their information and put it in the show notes here. Take a look at On Defend, a company that's on the move, doing a lot of amazing things in the cyberspace area. We'll see you in our next segment, and live with gratitude.
Operation Barnabas is a veterans ministry, started in 2017 with the purpose of helping our veterans that kind of got left behind, and they've struggled with addictions, PTSD, suicidal thoughts, those kind of things, helping them get whole again through one-to-one mentorship.
Being able to communicate with them and help them can drastically change their life, can drastically change a family's life. The little that we can do is put our hand out and say, hey, do you want a hand up?